Good morning, students. So let us commence the session. Have a recap. In Unit 1, we have discussed on XML technologies. In Unit 2, we have oriented the basics of SOA. We have completely elaborated the layers of SOA. Unit 3, we have talked about completely on the architectural components of SOA, nothing but WSDL, UDDI, and so. As well as we have seen the creation of web services. And in the fourth unit, we have discussed about security issues pertaining to the enhancement of UDDI architecture, starting from WS addressing, WS label messaging, WS policy, and etc. So in the fifth unit, we are learning about the software engineering approach of SOA. So what could be the especially software design approach of SOA? So in this unit, till now we have covered with some of the basics of service-oriented design and analysis. Especially we have come across those sessions. Along with that, we are running over with the service-oriented modeling. So in service-oriented modeling, we have seen till now 2 sessions. This could be your third session on service-oriented modeling. Already we have introduced a framework in service-oriented modeling, SOMF, right, provided by IBM. And in that, continuing with parts. So these are all the notations that you have to remember, because using these notations only you have to draw a diagram. How you will ready to draw the diagrams in your OOAD, the same way here you have to inculcate these things depending upon the use case scenario that what you are ready to provide over on that. First try to understand the symbols. It's not like the normal symbols what you will be using in your flowcharts or other OOAD based notations. Okay, see that first box, that means service oriented analysis and modeling asset notation, right? Assets notation. So in assets, what are all the terms are coming? Consumer, right? That means the person who is requesting the service. So consumer, that could be represented by the direction view, that what we will be viewing is nothing but a simple triangle, right? So consumer. Next, service cluster. Service cluster is nothing but it is ready to represent the available number of service providers. Okay, available number of service providers. That's what the term service cluster. And atomic service. Atomic service means the service provider in which they are providing only one service. That's what atomic service. Composite service. Composite service consists of 2 categories. Category 1, the service provider that they are providing more than one number of service, right? More than one number of service. Example, Gmail, right? Google. The service provider who are providing various number of services or heterogeneous types of services. Example, AWS. Okay. So That's the way to represent the, if you want to say in your language of OOAD, that they are ready to talk about the stakeholders or users of the corresponding representation, right? So these are all the representations. I think the 2D representation is enough for us, right? So informal asset symbols that they are used for theory aspects. But 2D representations are enough for us to work with the software. Even you can download this SOMF from the internet and you could be able to use it, right? It's a free of cost. And second thing, here analysis and modeling notation has been given in two sections. Okay, so why they have given in two sections? Actually, whenever I am going to only connect, right? I am going to establish connection, or I am going to perform any data transfer or perform any data flow. In that case, I have to use the notations which are available in the right side of your screen. Only 4 arrow marks that they have given in based upon different notations, right? That's the thing. So when you are going to do along with the operations, right? Flow along with the operations. In those cases, you could be able to use the notations available here in the bottom section of your SOMF. Okay. So starting from your basic notations, you have 4 categories over there: generalized, specified, expanded, contracted. Okay. So generalized means it is a normal flow. But how you will be connecting services, right? Service requester, service provider, service cluster, nothing but my UDDU. To communicate with that, generalized contents are enough. Expanded, right? Expanded means the service provider is ready to establish its own service cluster in some other place. In that case, that will be represented by expanded. Contracted means service provider is inviting third party vendors to come and deposit their web services, in whom the service provider will act as the broker for all types of services, right? So I will create a environment in that all the web services will come and loaded. From me only people will be accessing. So in that case, all contracted services are available with me. So if I'm going to access the contracted service, that can be accessed using this, right? I think even now you could able to know about that. PyTorch, it's a very famous deep learning tool that could be that has been derived from Python environment. Right now, it is being completely maintained by Microsoft because they have developed Scorch, Skorch. Scorch. The Scorch is nothing but the combination of sklearn package and PyTorch package, right? So now Scorch is the third-party integration for PyTorch, which is completely maintained by Microsoft. But along with PyTorch, you have some more packages are available in the same base, right? So in that case, if anybody want to club it with their environment and use, that they will depend upon that, right? So in that case, contracted, these type of notations need to be used. Okay? Specified. Specified means there will be a unique way of accessing a web service. There will be a unique way of accessing a web service. Apart from that, you could not able to access that web service in any mode. In that cases, I have to use this specified. Okay, there could be a unique way. See, a very simple is any security-based applications. Right? In that case, can be able to use this specified. Okay, that's the thing on basic notations. So when I'm coming for the advanced notations, so what are all the things that I have to use? Right? Advanced notations. So in the advanced notations that we could able to commence with the order that what they have given. Okay. First, they have talked about reduction, expansion, isolation, coupling, cloning, binding. Okay, so these basic operations will help you to move for how or what would be the facilities provided by the corresponding service can be represented, right? How the facilities of the services will be, that can be represented using these notations. Okay, that could be the idea here. So capability reduction. Capability reduction means that particular service is having three functionalities. In that case, I want to modulate three functionalities into that one function, that one web service into three functionalities means I have to use decomposed. Subtracted. Subtracted means I'm having three functionalities in a web service. I want to hide two functionalities and only one functionality need to be exhibited. In that case, I have to use subtracted. So you have to identify the place where I can involve those things. Okay, so that could be the best place that you could able to understand and take it forward, right? So next one, I think before going for expansion and isolation, that we talked about transformation, right? So transformation is nothing but how your service is encompassed in another environment, right? For example, I have used my weather web service. The weather web service is going to be used as a, that means the output of the weather service are converted into a JSON file. Those JSON files are being given as the input for a ML module that it will predict and it will convey the forecast about the storm and other things, additional features, right? Additional features. So how the service transformation, see whether this service is being transformed or not, that will be represented using this service transformation notation, right? So that could be the enhancing the existing web service, right? If you want to say in a clear way, right? Next one, aggregated regarding expansion, nothing but reusing, right? Aggregation, the same thing. Reusing, it's like your inheritance, but the thing is existing web service is going to be used in another place. That's what the term aggregation, right? Without any modification. That's the difference between transformation and expansion. Next, unified. Okay, so unified represents that I am going to club two web services. I'm going to club two web services in a unique way, right? So that's what unified. So for example, uh, I'm going to club my payment gateway as a general service, right? The payment gateway can be clubbed uniquely with the different types of services, right? If it is going to be linked with the Amazon purchase environment, how it will be clubbed? The same payment gateway is going to be clubbed with the Book My Show, how it will be clubbed, right? So that could be the terms that they will be revealing here, unified. Even you could able to see this unified notations very clearly when you are going to work with IRCTC, right? So there you could able to see different contents of or different forms of the gateways are being represented very uniquely over there. That's the thing. Compounded means combining, right? So combining, this is maybe homogeneous or it may be heterogeneous, whatever may be, right? I am ready to combine and I am going to project with that. For example, whether web service is going to be combined with the traffic, right? So that can be given as a represented as a compounded service, right? Next, service isolation. Service isolation. So service isolation is ready to talk about intersected means it's not like identifying common properties between two services. It's not like that. The place where the web services will communicate with each other, right? Output of one web service is given as an input to the other web service, right? In that case, this intersected notation must be used, right? Overlapped, right? Overlapped means part of the, for a single web service, part of the section will be run by web service 1, second part will run by web service 2, right? In that case, that notation will be overlapped, right? Excluded. Normally, this excluded will be combined with my subtracted or decomposed regarding my capability reduction, right? Excluded. In decomposed, excluded can be used for that I will ready to represent the property of homogeneous. Sorry, right? See, because three functionalities will be given as three different modularities. In that case, excluded can be combined. Otherwise, while I am going for subtracted, so excluded means I will omit two functionalities, right? So on the time I would be able to combine subtracted with the excluded, the notations, right? So that could be the thing. And coupling. So coupling is nothing but you know that can be combined with one another service in a large fashion or in a large scale. That's what service coupling that it is going to happen. So coupled and decoupled. See, and one more point here I want to convey here is the first four notations: reduction, transformation, expansion, isolation. All these things are uh, have to happen in the depth layer of my services, right? Internal logic of my services. Rest of the contents are coupling, cloning, binding. All these three services are going to be nothing but the creamy layer of the services. Nothing but it will talk about the visibility of the corresponding services, right? So that visibility can be classified into three categories here. That's what coupling, cloning, and binding. All these things are ready to talk about the attachment of services with the environment, right? In the external environment, very specifically, right? So, how this service is going to coupled with the external environment. So, in what place that I have to decouple it. Likewise, couple means joining, right? So cloning. So cloning is nothing but I am ready to replicate my services. Right? So that could be the major case that we'll be talking about. Decloned. So that is the place that I could be able to declone. I am removing that property. That's all. So binding, service binding, right? So service binding is nothing but very specifically I am attaching the data available from one web service is being attached with the functionality available in another web service. So likewise I am the encapsulating the corresponding binding, right? So the reverse of encapsulation is nothing but my unbound, right? So these things will help me to understand the SOMF notation, right? So please understand that using this only that you are going to draw the SOMF, service modeling diagrams for your corresponding scenarios, use case scenarios, right? So please remember that. So contextual modeling. So contextual modeling, how I am going to talk about my capacities or the functional requirements of a software component, right? So that can be described. That's what you will be viewing as a very rigid component in as a component diagram in your UML, right? So as well as here contextual modeling incorporates your use case also, right? So because it will talk about the functionality, name, and what could be their specific function as well as the role, right? So nothing but it's ready to simulate your use case also here. Okay. So along with that, what are all the things that they are ready to talk about that? So in the contextual modeling, generalization, specification, expansion, contraction. So see that generalization, specification, extraction, contraction, expansion and contraction, right? So most of them will come about on the, the very specific basic notations, whatever that we have discussed on the right hand side top corner, right? So that could be the thing which is ready to talk about contextual modeling, right? So contextual modeling, nothing but the basic flows that it is ready to represent. Right. So contextual generalization, we will slowly penetrate into the learning of these services, right? So there won't be any hurry. So I am ordering a, it may be anything, right? So I assume that we have taken the case study for understanding this contextual generalization. That what we have taken is something called a payment gateway based environment, right? So my order entry service is represented there, right? It's atomic service. Okay, so our accounting service is also being used over there because that's the one which will take care of the inventory, right? along with that. That's the reason why accounting service. So how I am ready to represent that using generalized flow, both the services are being connected, right? Both the services are being connected. So that could be the uh, basic idea to talk about here. Next, I think there won't be any much more complex, right? Fine. Now, I am using very specific in accounting service. Very specifically, I am going to talk about the payable service because it is talking about inward, outward, receivables, payables. Like it could be a general service, accounting, right? It may be materials as well as money. Both the things will be there. So in that case, very specifically, I am going to talk about that. So in that case, I am ready to represent the relationship between two services using specified abstraction. So that could be the representation. So please remember that I am using my contextual modeling notations. In the previous one, see that arrow mark, encircled arrow mark is being on the main service. Right now it is being starting from the specific service. That means this is one of the component of the accounting service. That's what Frederick mentioned about this. Right now you could be able to see the expanded service, right? Expanded service, that means expanded service means they have given very simple fashion, right? So email calculation as a service which would be available for all the environment, right? So the same service is being invoked. See, if I'm going to give values for the corresponding, the clerk is going to give values for the corresponding the customer ABC that he will be calculating in his terminal, right? He is using a software for EMI calculation. Manager is talking with the customer that he is ready to canvass and the customers for getting over on the home loan. Clerk is computing the environment, right? Clerk is working with the existing customers, right? Manager is talking about the he is ready to come with a new customer. So he is, while he is demonstrating, he is using the same type of EMI calculation from his terminal, right? Person who is sitting in the home, he is accessing the online net banking, and in that he is ready to calculate his EMI. He is also a customer that is ready to avail the home loan. He is planning to go for this much amount of from the bank. So in that case, he is accessing. So logic calculation is centralized, right? That's what my loan calculator service. But how these people are utilizing in their environment, right? So that could be the case that how this service is being expanded, being reflected in through the representation, right? So that's the term contextual expansion. See the notation, right? Double-headed arrow, which could be in the flowing in the direction of that means the service is being expanded, right? Contracted, right? So contracted is ready to talk about my the third party contents that could be available in my corresponding environment, right? That's what I have explained to you, the same thing only. So account lookup service, for example, I have linked my account with a digital wallet. Okay, ultimate thing is the only one thing that what I will do, I will check for my balance, right? I have large number of services are available nowadays to check with my account balance, right? So what I will do, there will be a user defined or toll free number provided by the bank. Just make call to that number from your registered mobile, right? The what you have linked with your account. Just to give you a missed call to that number, or just to make a call within the third ring, the call automatically will cut. You will get an SMS. This is the first way to know about the balance. Second thing, you will have some 4-digit code or 5-digit code will be available. Just you have to type in SMS BAL. You have some 6-digit code or 5-digit code. Send it towards that the 5-digit number. Automatically, you will get the balance. This is the second way, right? So third way, you could be able to access the menu which is available in your mobile banking. Fourth way, that you could be able to access the menu which is available in your internet banking. Fifth way, using your ATM card that you will dip into ATM and you could be able to find it out, right? And sixth way, that in the UPI by providing the corresponding transaction pin that you could able to, or M pin that you could able to find out the balance. So ultimate aim is that I am ready to access in multiple fashion, right? But I'm accessing the single service only, right? So I could able to restrict these things by logging into internet banking. For example, this particular account should not be linked with the using UPI. I could able to restrict that. Likewise, I could able to restrict SMS balancing must be deactivated. Mobile banking must be deactivated. So by logging into internet banking, I could able to control the same functionality, right? Control the same functionality that was being represented using your contextual contraction, right? So that could be the case. Okay. So by this, uh, I'll close here. You have to take a online quiz now, right? I will share a Google quiz form. Complete it. It's as a part of your internal marks.